foremost, I would like to give all the honors, the praises, the glory belongs to Yahweh by Sham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Mahavakar Kwadash. Honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit and to the hopeful elect across the globe. And I mean the very, very few sisters listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days, because we are living in the last days of the last days. This lesson is going to be very, 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 very controversial. If you're too emotional, if this ain't for you, just don't watch it. Just don't watch. If it's not for you, then just don't watch it. Right? I want to get these lessons out, so I'm going to, in a bit of a rush, because I need to free up some data. So we're going to start off with this first. And before we start off, I want to let you know is, you don't own these parks. You don't own the park. Right? These parks, you don't own it, bro. So you have no say. You have no say of, well, I don't want him. I don't want him here. Bro, it's not up to you. You don't fucking own the park, man. Right? Somebody else owns it. Certainly not you. So I'll just let you know that. And the next thing, I want to bring out some information we got concerning what certain brothers are going through. All right? So I want to start on Psalms 17. And listen very, very, very carefully. Listen carefully. This targeting business is no joke, but the whole thing is, you give it less power when you're not setting your eyes on it. They need you to see. Remember, everything is planned. They need you to see it. Yes, you are being targeted, some of you, by military complex and cult members that are working with police and military. Facts. And if you see me moving around, if you see me sitting from one place to another place to another place, the reason I'm doing that, because they're trying to transmit frequencies as well. So you may be sitting down, and even though you're in an open field, you have certain people that will try to use transmitters of frequencies against you. And why are they doing that? Because they want to, what's the words? They want to discredit you. This thing is real. It actually does happen. Right? So we're going to start with Psalm 17. And we're going to jump straight to verse 8. It says, keep me as the apple of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. So we want to be hidden under the shadow, which is the protection of the Lord's wings. Okay? It says, from the wicked that oppress me. We're in a system where this system is based on oppression. Right? Britain is socialist. It's like a socialist type of regimen. Just look at what you see on the news. Just look at what one sees on the news. Oh, the foreigners, keep it British. This, that. We're bringing back the death penalty. This is crazy. It's a socialist type of government now. You got maniacs. You got maniacs in power. Maniacs. This is Psalm 17 and 9. From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies. So that does show we have deadly enemies. Not everyone's your friend. Who compass me about. What does compass mean? Circle. They are enclosed in their own fact. With their mouth, they speak proudly. Right? You're going to hear the sirens soon. You're going to hear some sirens go off soon. They have now compassed us in our steps. What does that mean, compassed us in our steps? They watch you. They monitor you. They keep a note. They keep a time. They see where you're traveling. These are the wicked described in the Bible. King David speaking about the wicked. They have set their eyes to bow down towards the earth. Wait, that's spiritual. It says they have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. And when they do this, they do it in a wicked manner. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey. As it were, a young lion lurking in secret places. Go to Peter's now. As a lion lurking in secret places, so our enemies also liken unto a lion. Go to Peter's now. And sometimes I don't want to do these lessons, but you push us, innit? You push us to do these lessons. Let's go to 1 Peter 5 and jump to verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. That's why it says be sober. So the Lord requires that we're soberly minded. Yes, key thing, be sober. When you're sober, you're clear-headed. Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Yes, seeking as a lion. So it's not talking about an actual lion. It's talking about people with the characteristics, the devil as a roaring lion. Predators. All right? Seeking about who they may devour. So this goes back to the topic. All right? Is there certain people upon earth, I don't know what they call them. Some call them dissidents. Some call them troublemakers. Some call them problem child or whatever. What labels they try to put on you, which don't fit. Why? Because the Lord ain't going to allow it to fit. But whatever they're called. All right? Now we're going to go to this, Baba Kishar. This was a part of an article. And it puts you up on game. What's really happening? For the last, 10 minutes since I've been in here, 1 or 2 so-called black people, Israelites. The others are just white, middle class, Edomites, so-called white people, bro. Because that's who's running this shit. If you're being targeted with any type of frequencies or, indirect conversations, someone is behind that. In power. All right? The programming combination, let's check this out, Baba Kushar. Check this out. This is, listen, gang stalking is another form. There's many different terms from it. It's also known as a eugenics program. We're going to talk about this now. Eugenics program. Type in, Margaret, I forgot the name, Margaret something. Is it Margaret Sanger? Margaret Sanger. She was for abortion. I think am I saying her name right? Margaret Sanger. And her whole thing, she wanted abortion, but it was mainly targeting the ethnic groups, mostly you so-called Negroes, right? So what was she? She was a part of the Ku Klux Klan. She didn't want black babies. She didn't want that. So even when you hear these terms of abortion and all these things, this goes back to the scriptures. When you had the Egyptians, what was the Pharaoh told to do? Take out every firstborn child. Male, only male. Keep the women. Because he knew if the males would repopulate, what would happen? They'd become a great nation, which we are. So these practices go back to Egypt. To kill off all the firstborn males. So abortion is another way of getting rid of you Negroes. When you talk about this whatever you want to call it, this gang stalking thing, there's many different aspects to it. So many different forms of it. Right? I've been told it's a depopulation program. I've even been told that. It's a depopulation program. Right? And these are people that are considered, they're important, but they're not desirable to those that have plans. There's many different aspects. Let's continue. And the eugenics program is run by, when you think of eugenics, that's hospitals. That's Medicare. Right? When you think about abortion, where does abortion happen? It happens in hospitals. Right? And I want to let you know as well, when they abort a child, that child ain't just chucked away. They keep that blood, and some of them drink it. They do all types of things with it, man. Right? This is a filthy, disgusting world. And we're not supposed to be pissed off. All right, bro, you ain't going to pull a fast one on us, bro. You ain't going to do that. Try to scapegoat the brothers that I think you're not going to do that, man. Here it is, a big ass nature reserve, and you got people are getting uncomfortable. Bro, we ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be here for most of the day. I ain't going anywhere. Fuck you talking about? Psychological operations are real, right? Don't think this is something that's made up. There's people that target people, but they do it covertly because if other people find out, they know their arse is in trouble. And Satan is what you call a legalist. And because he's a legalist, he does things where he can go around, he looks for patches in the law so he can go around the law, right? And so forth. This is how this thing is done, right? Psychological warfare is a division of the British Army. This is from an article I'm reading. It's from an article, right? Baba Kisha. It's from an article, Baba Kisha. A two-Nazi CIA trauma-based mind control experiment. So guess what? A lot of these people that are targeting you, they don't like blacks. They don't like you Negroes. They're Nazis, bruh. All right? This whole thing about the Nazis were done away with. Oh yeah, they were killed off in World War II. The British, they killed. No, they didn't. Where's the proof of that? No, they didn't. They went to America. A lot of them, not all of them, most of them went to America. And guess what? You know the most scariest thing is? They're in positions of power. That's what the most scariest thing is. They're in positions of power. So when you talk about, they're still alive, right? They're still alive. Like, remember back in the early 2000s, I remember I used to see NF written everywhere. So where did the National Front go? What, did they just perish one day? No. In the UK, racism is still there, but it's a bit more undercover. No one's really coming to you and saying nigger to your face, right? But it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, right? Slavery in the States, it never was abolished. That's all a lie. It was just moved to one state to another state. When people think about slavery in the States, they think of North Carolina, right? South Carolina, southern states, and so forth. Mississippi, Virginia, that's what you think, right? Virginia, hanging niggers on ropes and so forth. No, it was moved to the south, to the north. So you know you had slaves in New York as well, and different parts. It was never really done away with, but they made you believe in that. That's why when you talk about trafficking, the whole gangstalking thing is, it is trafficking. Get that through your head, right? And guess who's running that? It's not someone that looks like me and you. No, because they don't have they may, all right, our people have money, but they're not in that position of power to be able to do that. So who would be able to do that? Someone that has power and someone that has force, also military force, and someone that can, what's the word? Use perjury within the court of law. Who can get away with that? Mostly elites or military. Because when there's COVID or any sign of any, what's the word? Danger, then they take over. Don't talk bullshit, bro. Don't talk rubbish, bro. Don't talk rubbish around here, bro. You ain't fooling no one, bro. You want to target people secretly. People can see that. People watch my videos, bro, and they know what the deal is. But this is a worldwide thing. It's not just you. There's social experiments happening everywhere. Everywhere. Right? You have some of these families, right? When a slave's rod penis was getting cut off or they were getting hanged, they were sending postcards everywhere. Postcards, man. Everywhere. When they were getting lynched, the gang stalking, I know the ins and outs of this thing. That's a lynch mob. You talk about that, it's a lynch mob. Right? Well, who were the lynch mob? They would hang Negroes. Right? Racist Edomites, man. I call them Edomites. I don't call them Edomites, bro. That's why, even when I'm out here now, what am I seeing? Right? Middle class looking so-called white Edomites. Middle class Edomites. They probably don't even live in the area. They probably live in Berkshire, Cheshire, Lancashire. Right? I don't know what them cream and crappy areas. And have you noticed that within them areas, there's a lot of bases as well? You ain't fooling anyone, man. You ain't fooling no one. Who you fooling? All right? You talk about paedophilia. Listen, bro, the military are highly involved in that shit as well, bro. Don't fucking talk shit, man. Talking that shit. Bear me just a minute. And it says a mind control experiment. So a lot of people have been talking about this program. Some of them are sleep deprived. Some of them, they get V2K and all these stuff. I've watched countless videos on people with these testimonies. V2K, voice to skull. What else? What else do you call it? Frequencies. Their equipment, their refrigerator, their oven, their TV is playing up. That's military technology, right? It's demons, but it's military technology. Don't talk shit, man. Don't talk rubbish, man. Right? The only person that could do that would have to be someone that has a knowledge of how things work and so forth. Okay? Come on. Modifying human behavior. So this is also about modifying your behavior. This is happening to everyone, by the way, but more so to the so-called empowered individual because he's awake. It's about experimenting on the public. Okay? Cable splicer, program methods of covert, open suppression of dissident. It says dissident. This is from an article. What's a dissident? A dissident is labeled someone that's trying to cause uproars within someone's kingdom or society. They're called dissidents. Okay? That's what they call them. Dissidents. Right? So some of you brothers that are teaching, you could be labeled or put on a program by someone that saw you, and now everywhere you go, you're being watched because you've been labeled some type of dissident when you're not. When you're not. Create a problem, then offer a solution. So this is what they do. They try to create a problem. That's why you can't believe everything you read. They create the problem, then come with what? Certain solutions. All right? So if they can make you the problem, they try to come with a solution. And what do you have lately? Right? There was another shooting, right? I forgot where was it? There was another shooting somewhere. They come up with that. Not everything you see on the news is correct, which I want to do another lesson. Not everything you see is correct. Some of it is bogus. And electric brain stimulation and behavioral effects from ultrasound. Ultra. Key thing, ultrasound. Right? There's a reason why they call it ultrasound. Right? Ultra going back to what? What's another word for ultra? What's that? Oh, so lucky it slipped from my mind. What is it? Something arbitrary. Another word for ultra is arbitrary. Right? Arbitrary. Baba Kusha. So arbitrary is ultra, means ultra. Okay? So you got to look at these terms, man. So some of you were put on some MK Ultra programming. Huh? That's why they use color codes around you. They need people to surround you to try to create a false perception of how you see reality. Because you may have a good sense of, how you see things. There's people, they don't want that. They want people dumb, stupid, man. That's how they want people. Like what? That movie They Live. When he put on the shades, he was able to see, man. Bro, all I want to say to you brothers and sisters out there that are on this type of, whatever you want to call it, you're not mad. You're not crazy. And a lot of the people that were called crazy, they were highly intelligent. They were different. All right? Don't be fooled out here. You got to know who you are. So let's finish off this article, right? Because I want to go into some data and do these lessons and get more lessons out. That's what we're here to do, to feed you with the information that you need. All right? And it says the behavioral effects from ultrasound to microwaves, micromanagement. So some of these people use microwaves. Who's using microwaves? Who is it? Your neighbor next door. It's not coming from your neighbor next door. This is coming from people that are involved in some from the occult and from military, and sometimes it's through police organizations as well. You have county police as well. County police, they can go anywhere. Their jurisdiction is anywhere, right? There's a difference between metropolitan and county. County can go anywhere. This is why you need to keep a record, of certain things that are happening around you as well. So therefore, when you keep a record, when you're recording it, someone can't say, well, I don't know what you're talking about. You've kept a record of it. You've written it down, times everything, and you have your camera. So people can't fool you, man. And micromanagement is when people are being micromanaged. So please don't jump to conclusions. Some of these people don't have a clue. Some of these don't have a clue what's going on. They're just being manipulated. Because if you can't be manipulated, guess what they can do? They can manipulate people around you to have you convinced that everywhere you go, you're being watched, when that's not necessarily true. They can do that. That's micromanagement. Right? It has nothing to do with inquiring intelligence to bring into a persecution. It has to do with neutralizing targets. Right? Meaning can no longer do what was set out to do. So some of us, they want to completely neutralize you. So you're inefficient. You can't teach the words. Some of these people want to put you in a hospital. Right? It's that real. That's why you need to keep a record of what's going on around you. Because they be using these fucking idiots as well. I've got these two women around on the left of me right now. They're trying to walk normal, but they can't even walk normal. They're walking like soldiers. And I tell you, from my experience in this truth earlier on, these people can blend in. You know, we're going to go into this. You know what they can do? You know they can work in Sainsbury's, right? I'm talking about military, army. You know they can put on a Sainsbury's shirt, right? And you could have 4 of them and they could be working in Sainsbury's. You know that, right? You know they can, say you got a lawn mowing company. You know they can put a lawnmower shirt on and act as a front as a lawn mowing company. You know they can do that, right? You know they can put on a maintenance shirt. And remember, they know how to do maintenance, all that. They can do that. So you got to understand what's happening. I'm speaking from first-hand experience, from what I've seen. And this is earlier on. You know, I went in Sainsbury's, right? And I'm like, hold on a minute. Why did they change the staff? This don't seem like proper staff. Hold on a minute. This is a bit edgy. It seems like bro, just weird stuff. Weird stuff. I've told you that they also pay millions, sometimes millions. They change the whole environment, your whole environment, just for you, to see what you're gonna do. So it is like an experiment. They can buy out your shopkeepers, move them going into another store, and put in new shopkeepers, right? Just to see how you're gonna react. You could say it's an experiment. You could say that. They can move people out of your neighborhood and move, because I've seen this. Don't act like you don't know what's going on. And all of a sudden, over a month's time, they've moved everybody, new people into that neighborhood. But because they have sufficient amount of funding to do that. They need to spend that money. But the only reason why they give them money, because they need to create something that you call a threat. If there's no threat, they don't get given money. So a lot of people, what they're doing, some of these people are being paid to come at you. If you're being seen as a threat, they're getting paid. They're getting paid. Right? And this is money. This is sufficient amount of money. It's called a black budget. So they're getting paid to do fucking fake security and all that bullcrap. But in order for them to do that, they have to create a false threat. A threat that's not even real. The boogeyman, Al Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram, which they come up with. They fund them. Right? Talking about terrorists and all that. They fund that shit. Bear with me. Right? They're funding that. Then they send people to walk past me just to get my attention. You know what I'm saying? This is mad. This is weird behavior, bro. But that's why you gotta stay strong. You gotta keep your head on a swivel, man. And don't fall for the tricks, man. These people, they're under some MK Ultra. They're cults, man. Because the cults do work hand in hand with these people as well. Law enforcement. They want to control people, man. So now let's continue with this, Baba Kusha. It has nothing to do with neutralization targets. COINTEL from FBI, that is interfaces with police. So I keep telling you the police are involved. That's why anywhere I go, I always see about 3 or 2 police cars going past because they have your face in between the driver's seat and the passenger seat as well on a screen. That pops up. And your name. And they can also put rubbish on it, add stuff to it. That's not even true. They can do that. So that's why the police are also in charge of this as well. That's why they will follow you around. Right? And it says, and government agencies, it involves military, civil authorities. Don't bother go to your council. Forget that. They get your council involved as well, man. Bro, your council knows about this. They know if you're an empowered individual. They already know this. Don't bother go to the authorities about this. Intel known as patriotic organizations. Key thing, patriotic. The program is a combination of coordinated century to put down insurrections. There you go. So some of you are seen as powerful. These tactics have been used several times, right? So they might see you as some type of activist. Quell disturbances, maintain status quo, right? And under Rex 84, under President Reagan, DEA, FBI, CIA, they all are into racketeering. Systematic and covert 24/7. It says racketeering. This is an article I'm reading from. So they're all into this, man. This ain't just something that's made up. Via covert targeting, 24/7 surveillance, sabotage, torture, right? But they can't let nobody else know that's happening. They can't let no one else know that, right? It's illegal. Terrorizing, psychological warfare, organized, framing, discrediting. This is why they will have people to watch you on phones that get involved, cult members. It's about discrediting and framing. That's why as long as we are in the right mindset, you're productive. They can't do that. They're just going to be trying and chasing their tail. Disrupting home, breaking, intimidation. What else? Tricks, dirty tricks. I know the ins and outs of this thing. I know what I'm talking about. Facts. They hire people throughout the day. They will hire people to come into your homes and utility workers and so forth. This is what they do. Alarm systems and all of that can be used. All of it. Right? All of it. Okay. Infiltration, harassment, imprisonment, some even death. Included, remember, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John Lennon, they were targeted by intelligence agencies. You know that, right? And high-profile leaders, organizers, social movements, right? Chicano group, anti-war protest classed by terrorists as a threat. De facto prisoners of war. So some of you don't even realize it. Some of you are you're in like little prison cells, basically, that have been created for you. You don't even realize that. Some of you. Right? This is how real this is. Some of you are political prisoners and you don't even know. Some of you are classed as political prisoners. Right? Some of you. And it says state-sponsored terrorism counterinsurgency. So listen, you don't know the ins and outs, but you will find out in due time. You will find out. Right? You've been seen as some type of dissident. You probably put on some list. This is why you have these people watching you. But there is no actual proof of that. You understand? So what we got to do, trust in the Lord, and he's going to make a way for you. Okay? Trust in the Lord Jehovah, and he will make a way. And let me tell you something. With the stuff they're showing you, right? Because what did they show you? Corruption, right? With what they're showing you, they ain't got no foot to stand on. None. Because you know the good thing about this program, you know the good thing about it? It's corruption, right? So with this program, it says in Thessalonians, the law of, the mystery of iniquity. With this program, it shows you everything that's corrupt. It puts it before you. And why do I say that? Because you have ambulances that are involved. You have police that are involved. You have criminals that are involved. You have gangs that are involved. You have, sometimes it's even teachers, they get involved. Postmen, they get involved. So if you're seeing all that and you're seeing a criminal element and they're being told to do criminal things, what does that say about society as a whole? This is why they need to try silence you. Because they're showing you. They're showing you. Right in front of your face. You could basically call it organized crime. Right? And when you're talking about organized crime, that's like the mobster, it's like mobster type stuff, the mob, right? And now everybody in the UK is like a Crip and a Blood. Now everybody's wearing blue and red. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. When you wake up to this truth, you're going to see some crazy stuff. But in terms of the color coding, that's all for sensory. To embed certain thoughts and feelings into your mind. That's why they do a lot of the blue and red concerning you, why they target you with color. That's for that's for sensitization. Color sensitization. Because you may attribute a certain color now with a certain emotion. So if you keep seeing red, right? They used to do that to me all the time. They don't do it as much now. So if you keep seeing red, what does red represent? Red represents war. Red represents military, war, danger sometimes, and also blood sacrifice. So if you associate that with the color, it can make you feel scared if you associate. And also it represents passion. What does blue represent? Blue, that's the lowest level of the Masons. That's the lowest level. When you're wearing blue, you're just an apprentice. So they have different color codes. Remember, these people speak to each other through codes, colors, signs, and symbols. That's how Satan talks. That's how them demons talk to each other. Through colors, symbols. That's how the occult deals. But we're not supposed to get caught up in all that stuff. We're supposed to follow Yahweh Shai. That's what we're supposed to do. Follow him. Right, so I want to shut off now because I'm using up a lot of data. I want to upload this video. Then, Lord willing, we can get into some more stuff. I hope this was edifying. And until the next time, Shalom. Shalom.